working to connect a region of over 600 million bridges between our lands.
Good evening, I'm Alma Angeles, and you're watching ASEAN in Focus on tonight's headlines. DILG Secretary Benjamin Abalos Jr. today asked all police officials from the rank of full colonel up to generals to submit a courtesy resignation. This amid the controversy that hit the Philippine National Police in connection with the alleged return of ninja cops or those involved in the recycling of illegal drugs. A political analyst expressed hope that President Marcos Jr. would be both decisive and adamant in handling maritime issues with China in the South China Sea during his 3-day state visit there. The number of reported fatalities from the torrential rains and floods caused by the shear line in late December has climbed to 50. DILG Secretary Benjamin
Pero pa sa Quezon City. Pero ano ang pinakamalaki sa lahat? Ito yung nangyari dito sa Maynila. Pero paano nangyari sa Maynila? Mga kababayan, ito yung nagsimula noong nagkaroon ng bypass dito sa Ermita. Isang nangangalang sa Lingguba Acadero ang nagbebenta ng droga at siya ay tiga Santa Cruz, Maynila. Si Acadero ay nagbenta ng 2 kilo. Ang halaga nito ay 13.6 million. At kung siya ay nahuli, may sinabi siya, nakasangkot ang isang pulis dito. Dahil dito ay sinama, gumawa kagad ang operasyon ang Philippine National Police. At doon natunton ang isang malaking bodega. Nakita rito at nahuli ang isang master sergeant ng Philippine National Police. Ang pangalan niya, Rodolfo Mayo.
This with his PNP ID, PTEG ID, a caliber 9mm Beretta, magazines loaded with live ammo. Pero higit pa rito ay naituro ni Mayo kung saan nanggaling ang kanyang mga droga at bumuluga hindi lamang sa Philippine National Police, kung hindi sa buong bansa. Probably ang pinakamalaking huli sa kasaysayang ng PNP. Higot kumulang 990 kilograms ng shabu. Sa street value nito ay nakakalaga ng between 6.7 to about 7 billion pesos. Ang nagbebenta mismo ng shabu ay ang chief ng PIDEA dito sa lugar na ito. Ang pangalan niya, Enrique Lucero Gumba, ang chief ng PIDEA sa Southern District Office, Anthony Albastro Alcazar, Agent Jaire Laguno, Mark Warren Malyo. Sa investigasyon na ginawa ng ating kapulisan, nakakabigla na malalim na ang impeksyon dito sa kapulisan. Yung kay Mayo, hindi lamang si Mayo kung hindi marami pang pulis ang kasangkot dito. Sa PIDEA ay ganun rin. Ano ang sinasabi ko, mga kababayan? Mahirap lumaban sa gera na ultimo ang kakampi mo ang babarel sa likod mo. It is a very radical approach to this problem. But I do believe we must cleanse our ranks. Kaya ako ay umaapila sa lahat ng full colonel hanggang general to submit a courtesy resignation.
To other news now, a political analyst is expressing hope that President Marcos Jr. would be both decisive and adamant in handling maritime issues with China. in the South China Sea during his 3-day state visit there. Dr. Froilan Calilong, who teaches political science at the University of Santo Tomas, acknowledged that the sea row would always be a touchy subject between the two countries. Let's listen in.
That would be good for the country. But I hope that the president will also be very adamant and decisive about and very decisive, at the same time, na wag talagang ibigay ano man yung atin, a part of our sovereignty, not to give it up to China, because this is something that a president, being the head of state and the chief architect of our foreign policy, should actually maintain. And I think maaari nating isipin that our president, sa mga nauna niyang pahayag, lagi nga niyang binabanggit that the Philippines will be a friend to all and an enemy to none. Maaaring isa to, no, sa mga usapin na medyo masasabi nating delicate at medyo sana mapag-usapan. Okay? At para magkaroon din ng masasabi natin na decisive move on both them, of both heads of state, para talaga ma-resolve na, no, at malaman natin ano ba talaga ang posisyon ng China patungkol nga rito sa West Philippine Sea. Because in our case, our position is very clear, and this is of course concomitant with the decision of the International Tribunal that we won in 2016. Both heads of state will try to exercise utmost diplomacy in towing the line in this very, very delicate matter. No? Pero I would like to believe the statements that were made by our president, that he's willing to explore patterns of cooperation with China, probably joint cooperation, oil exploration. I think that would be good for the country.
In November 2018, the Philippines signed a memorandum of understanding with China on joint oil and gas development in the West Philippine Sea. Due to constitutional constraints and issues on the country's sovereignty, the Philippines, during the Duterte administration, terminated the talks before President Marcos assumed his presidency in June last year. Meanwhile, political analyst Professor Calilong also emphasized the importance of President Marcos' state visit to China in setting the tone of bilateral relations between the two countries. The president proceeded with his China trip despite rising coronavirus cases in the Asian giant.
Na merong I think may nakalatag, kung hindi ako nagkakamali, 10 hanggang 14 na mga bilateral relations and bilateral transactions. So this is going to be very, very important for us, lalo na sa atin, dahil may mga investment packages na maaring mapirmahan na naglalayo na gumawa at magtaguyod ng mas maraming hanap buhay, trabaho para sa atin. Naglalayon din ito na isulong yung ating pakikipagkalakalan sa bansang China, at ito ay makakatulong ng malaki, no, sa pagpapalawig nga at pagtataguyod lalong-lalo na ng ating ekonomiya. Na sa ngayon, kung makikita natin, medyo nandun pa rin yung epekto nga ng pandemya sa atin, nandyan pa rin yung epekto ng mataas na presyo ng mga bilihin, ng langis. So I think this is going to be a very opportune time for us na magkaroon ng mga patterns of cooperation with a regional superpower, an economic superpower, that in the case of China. Not only that, I think we will be also venturing into patterns of strengthening yung ating digital communications, between the two countries. And of course, nandiyan din yung tourism aspect, nandiyan din yung pagpaigting ng ating tinatawag na Belt Road Initiative. So sa kapakanan ng ating mga tagapanood, ang Belt Road Initiative ay sinimulan ni President Xi Jinping noong 2013, kung saan nagkakaroon ng mga estruktura, na inilalatag ang China mula sa parteng na to ng East Asia hanggang sa Europa, Kaya tinatawag nga itong makabagong Silk Road, Pero ito ay isa sa napakahalaga na proyekto na ginagawa ngayon ng China. And the Philippines actually is one of the countries na talagang kaakibat or kaagapay ng China dito sa kanyang layunin na to, no, na ito nga payabungin yung infrastruktura na makakatulong naman sa pagkakaroon nga ng mas maayos na ekonomiya, hindi lamang ng mga dalawang bansa, no, kundi ng buong mundo.
China is the country's largest trading partner, major source of official development assistance, and before the pandemic, the second largest source of tourist arrivals. President Marcos' state visit in China is his seventh overseas trip since he assumed the presidency. It is also his first bilateral visit to a non-member of ASEAN. The number of reported fatalities from the torrential rains and floods caused by the shear line in late December has now climbed to 52. The number of fatalities could rise further as rescuers are now searching for 19 people still missing more than a week after heavy rains pounded central and southern regions over the holiday weekend, according to the National Disaster Agency. Bad weather struck as the nation of 110 million people prepared for the long festive holiday. Instead of celebrating with loved ones, thousands of families found themselves cleaning up their dwellings and shops after the flood waters subsided. The Philippines is ranked among the most vulnerable nations to the impacts of climate change, and scientists have warned that storms are becoming more powerful as the world gets warmer. Most of the fatalities have been in the province of Misamis Occidental on the southern island of Mindanao. More than 270,000 people had to seek emergency shelter as downpours inundated rural villages, left more than 4,500 houses damaged or destroyed, and wiped out over 7,000 hectares of cropland. Vietnam mobilized soldiers and engineering experts to try to free a 10-year-old boy trapped in a buried hollow concrete pillar on a construction site. Take a look. Now, rescuers are hoping to raise the pillar from its 35-meter deep or 115 feet hole and cut the boy named Tai Ly Hao Nam out, though after 3 days trapped inside, it isn't clear whether he's still alive. The youngster fell into the 25-meter or 12-inch wide shaft of the pillar, sunk as part of a new bridge in Mekong Delta province of Dong Tap on Saturday. The little boy was looking for scrap metal. The wider 19-meter-long metal pipe has been lowered around the concrete tube in which Nam is trapped to allow them to remove mud from around the pillar and try to lift it out. Rescuers were softening and removing mud and water to reduce pressure around the pillar before bringing it up. Around 100 soldiers and professional equipment have been deployed at the site, which has been sealed off from the public while the rescue effort goes on. In other news, the Department of Migrant Workers today said it has helped 3,000 OFWs to rebook their flights after a power outage knocked out communication and radar equipment at the country's busiest hub in Manila. It forced hundreds of flights to be canceled, delayed, or diverted. Let's listen in.
Teams natin noong January 1. At doon nga, napag-alaman natin na ang matinding pangangailangan ng OFWs natin noon ay rebooking ng kanilang flights kasi nga kansilado yung flights at gusto lang nila magkaroon ng kasiguruhan kung kailan sila lilipad. And on that day, around 3,000 OFWs ang natulungan natin in terms of pag-ugnay sa airlines, lalo na ang Philippine Airlines, sa pagkanilang rebooking. These 3,000 OFWs includes those na natulungan sa pagbibigay ng food packs, yung nabigyan ng hotel accommodation, kasi nga, once they have been rebooked, they need to be billeted in hotels while awaiting their rebooked flights. So, halimbawa ngayon, January 4, meron pa ring mga lumilipad out of the country from their rebooked flights noong January 1. At sa pagkakaintindi ko, until mga January 5 or 6.
In tonight's other news, Marvel superhero actor Jeremy Renner said he was messed up after being run over by his own snowplow as he tried to climb into the driver's seat of the giant 6-ton vehicle. Renner suffered severe injury Sunday morning near his Nevada home while attempting to halt the piston bully machine, which had begun rolling forward after he used it to help free a stranded family member's vehicle from heavy snow. Here's Washoe County Sheriff Darren Ballum, who gave a press conference on the ongoing investigation of this accident.
The subject had been run over by a snowcat in the area of Mount Rose Highway. At 8:57, Washoe County Dispatch advised some units and they started en route. Based on our investigation, Mr. Renner's personal vehicle, which was being driven by a family member, had become stuck in the snow near his home. Mr. Renner went to retrieve his piston bully, or snowcat, an extremely large piece of snow removal equipment weighing at least 14,330 pounds, in an effort to get his vehicle moving. After successfully towing his personal vehicle from its stuck location, Mr. Renner got out of his piston bully to speak to his family member. At this point, it was observed that the piston bully started to roll. In an effort to stop the rolling piston bully, Mr. Renner attempts to get back into the driver's seat of the piston bully. Based on our investigation, it's at this point that Mr. Renner is run over by the piston bully. An eyewitness detailed seeing Mr. Renner getting into the piston bully and not seeing him again until the piston bully came to a rest in a pile of snow in front of his driveway. At this point in the investigation, we do not believe Mr. Renner was impaired at all, and we believe this is a tragic accident. The Washoe County Sheriff's Office is in possession of his piston bully, and we are analyzing it to rule out any potential mechanical failure of why it may have started to roll.
Here's Jeremy Renner, who was taken by helicopter to nearby Reno, posting a selfie Tuesday from his hospital bed, showing heavy bruising on his face. He said, "Thank you all for your kind words. I'm too messed up now to type, but I send love to you all." Writing on Instagram, Mr. Renner's publicist Sam Mast said the actor had undergone surgery and was making positive progress and is awake, talking, and in good spirits. Mr. Mast said he remains in ICU in critical but stable condition. He is overwhelmed by the showing of love and support. The family asks for your continued thoughts while he heals with his close loved ones. Officials at Tuesday's press conference said there was no indication the drink or drugs were involved in the incident, which was being treated as a tragic accident, as we heard there earlier. The piston bully, or snowcat, operated by Renner, is a large specialized snow plowing vehicle with giant raised caterpillar tracks on each side of an enclosed cab. Now, Renner holds the honorary title of Deputy Sheriff and is popular with local children who call him Hawkeye, after the superhero he plays in several Marvel films and a recent miniseries. Renner, 51, has been nominated for 2 Oscars for his roles in The Hurt Locker and The Town. And finally, in our news, Filipinos love New Year's Eve, and even after the New Year's celebrations continue, every year they note it on their calendars as a significant occasion. Their observances are the most pleasant ones. Here's Jenaline Despi from our Australian Bureau, who got a few reactions from our kababayans.
As we welcome 2023, we asked some of our Filipino kababayans here in Australia how will they celebrate the New Year.
I will celebrate the New Year's by spending time with my mom and my wife-to-be and her family. We'll just probably hang out and go to parks and just hang out and bond together.
We will celebrate New Year with my family and we'll invite some of our friends and have a simple gathering at our place.
Go somewhere else in the beach, play in the playground, and also visit all my friends.
Wherever we are, Filipinos love celebrations, and the New Year is one of the biggest occasions that we all look forward to. We celebrate through parties or gatherings. They may be at home or in bigger venues. Whichever way we welcome the New Year, it is important that we greet 2023 with a smile. Jenaline Despi, Perth, Australia, Eagle News. We live in extraordinary times.
But wait, there's more. The Rose Parade is back to ring in the new year. Pasadena played host to the 134th Rose Parade after a strong rainfall washed over its streets to cap the year. Eva and Alan Basilyahe was at the scene.
If you see one of these No Sunday buttons, don't worry, it's not some wild campaign to boycott the first day of the week. Rather, this signifies the Rose Parade's long-standing rule to never have the parade happen on a Sunday.
But even though the 134th Tournament of Roses Parade presented by Honda takes place a day after New Year's, the majesty of the over 70 floats, marching bands, and equestrian units carries on full swing.
It still sort of feels like New Year's Day, even though it isn't. The parade never is held on a Sunday, so we're used to that every 7-year cycle, and it still feels like New Year's.
ASEAN actually was kind of nice. We were at home for New Year's back up at my parents' house in San Luis Obispo, so we had a travel day to get here, and nice to be able to extend the holidays one more day before getting back to work in reality.
I mean, I think it just speaks to how worth it is that people want to still come out here, even though it's the day after New Year's, right? They probably changed their plans to make sure that they could be here for it. And I don't know, we were here last year and it was on New Year's Day, and I think there's honestly more people here this year than there were last year. So yeah, it just speaks to how awesome it is.
I think getting all these people together, even though it's early, it's cold, yeah, it kind of speaks to how special this event is, and yeah, the excitement.
Everybody here, the feeling is that everybody helps everybody. My sister dropped her scarf and someone came up running behind her to give her back, like, you dropped your scarf. And it just feels like a huge community here. Everybody's excited to be at the Rose Parade, excited to see the floats, excited to be on TV.
It's just so different to have all of these people who are all here to see this thing, and they're all so excited, and it's the new year and we're celebrating, and everybody's talking about, oh, look at that, that's so cool, or I'm so excited to be here. And especially with it having been COVID recently, you know, it just feels so different to be here with everyone and everybody to be so excited to do this together.
I'm hoping to feel excitement. I'm gonna feel the cold. I'm gonna look at the nice floats, all the people, the cars. I'm excited.
Coming to the Rose Parade to see it in person is the best feeling. You've got to come out, even if it should be on your bucket list. It should definitely be on your bucket list.
We get together in large crowds like this and able to bring the camaraderie back, bring the relationships back that America is united across all, not only the branches of the service, but across our politics, as well as across the ability for this parade on the second day now of January to join America, and for us to go into 2023 as successful as this parade is and this football game is going to be this afternoon. It's got a great kickstart for us to go into 2023.
All morning, we've been hearing parade goers talk about New Year's resolutions. But Ala's resolution to get new cameras is a bit interesting, to say the least. Tell us again, what's wrong with these cameras?
Well, yeah, you know how they say the camera adds 10 pounds? These cameras, however, add like 50.
You know, that's not...
Happy New Year, everyone!
Eva and Alan, Pasadena, California, Eagle News. We live in extraordinary times.
Thanks, guys. As my usual habit, I'd like to end the day on a positive note. Let's encourage and build each other up so that no one is left behind. And that's it for tonight's broadcast of ASEAN in Focus. Stay in the news because we live in extraordinary times. Good night.